celebrity drama?
Drew Sidora, they're giving the vibe as if she's dating Portia's ex.
Oh my God.
Check. Music, movies, and viral moments.
Gabrielle Union came out and said that she was doing 50-50 with Dwayne Wade. I have that audio just in case you didn't remember, so let's listen to that.
Check. Exclusives. Come on, y'all. Y'all know I got that over here.
Whatever Lauren says, Lauren, yeah.
The show with all the hot takes, zero filter. Welcome to The Latest with Loren LoRosa. I'm Loren LoRosa, and I'm going to be bringing you guys where pop culture meets personalities. And over here, baby, we are doing all the things. Give me my tens, because we're going to have a good time.
All right, y'all, we start with a clap in here to get the energy up. Y'all, we got guests today. So welcome back. This is The Latest with Loren LoRosa. I am your host, Loren LoRosa. I'm the homegirl that knows a little bit about everything and everybody. And on this show, y'all know that this is y'all daily dig into everything pop culture and all of the conversations that shake the room. Patrick, you looking nervous. You all right back there?
Oh, nah, we just making sure everything is copacetic.
Okay, all right, because you behind the camera, so when you start looking nervous, I'm like, am I talking to a recording camera or what is happening right now? Now, y'all know that we like to kick this off with the check-in, but before we do that, we have some guests in the room today outside of Patrick and his WDAS voice. So I want them to introduce themselves to you guys on the podcast. They're first-time podcasters with me, but they do this for real. So first guest up, talk to the audience. It could
What's
be you.
going on, y'all? It's your man, Chuck Creekmur, a.k.a. Jigsaw, Delaware in the house, CEO of allhiphop.com.
Yes, y'all. So the studio that we've been shooting out of, Wanda has been letting me shoot in here. Me and Patrick, we've been in here just figuring things out. So we really appreciate you and All Hip Hop. Y'all know y'all support my content all the time. And hometown. They from Delaware as well.
That's right.
So today we are going to do things a bit differently, although they will feel the same. There is a lot happening literally right now in the news regarding Shannon Sharpe. So we're going to talk there for the show today. And because we have guests, I want to make sure that they get, their time and their opinions in. So that'll be the only topic that we cover. But before we get to all of that madness, how y'all feeling? How's everybody's day? How are you for real? Like when we ask that, this is, the behind the scenes of the grind check-in.
Back on the grind.
When we ask that, it's a real answer. Patrick, you want to show them how it go?
Yeah. So I'm feeling great. I'm feeling productive today. Got the setup ready to start the day. We got a busy day ahead, but we're going to tackle it one by one.
What y'all doing today?
We got a couple of interviews lined up with Chuck. I also produce for All Hip Hop, and I'm producing a podcast later for Business Moving.
I know that's right. You better be producing.
Yes.
What about you, Chuck?
That's a deep question. I don't know if I can answer that right now. But, we've been rocking for a minute, me and Wanda and Pat, and we've been on this track for a long time. That said, I ran 6 miles yesterday. I'm training for a half marathon in the fall. So I'm really getting my endurance up for life as well as running. So I'm good.
Is it true that y'all really use the bathroom on yourselves at the end of the marathons? You never heard that?
No, I actually ran a full marathon and I had to do use the bathroom in the middle of the marathon, and that is no fun.
Yeah, they be seeing y'all use the bathroom on yourselves when y'all running them.
No, not your boy. No, not me.
Well, it is really nice in New York today. It is like 80 degrees outside. Today was our first day back to Breakfast Club after our like mini Easter break. So I've been off for the last couple days of that show and haven't been having to wake up as early. And I had to do it this morning, so I was tired. And then I walked outside and I felt that weather. I said, we gonna go have a little drinky drink after this, okay? So I'm feeling great. I'm feeling energized, and I'm actually excited to have guests today for this topic, especially male guests, because I think a lot of times I'm in here talking. Patrick never interrupts me. He just let me go. I be rambling. Yes. Mm-hmm. But I think on a topic like this where we're talking about Shannon Sharpe and everything that's surrounding him right now with the sexual assault and rape allegations, I'm excited to have a male perspective or male perspectives on the show. So let's get on into the latest. Now, the latest with Shannon Sharpe, there is a ton of things. As I was preparing to be on my way here to the studio, Shannon Sharpe actually spoke out on everything that is happening again. He released a written statement a day or so ago, but he released a video today. Before we get to the video, I want to play an audio that was released by TMZ, literally, I would say maybe 15 minutes before Shannon Sharpe posted his video statement. Let's take a listen to this audio that TMZ released of Shannon Sharpe.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
what? What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna fucking choke the shit out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I don't.
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do.
At the end, he says, I don't think you have a choice. I want to get it verbatim, though. So let me pull it up because I don't want to misquote. That's a serious conversation right there. I'm about to pull up TMZ's real quick just to hear it. I believe he says, when I listened to it, if I remember correctly, he said, I don't think you have a choice.
Anything I say.
Yes, he says, at the end of that audio, he says, I don't think you have a choice in the matter. Now, that audio was released. For some background context, this morning when I was reporting the story on Breakfast Club, if you guys have went and listened to those clips, you will remember this. If not, I'm going to briefly just talk about what we talked about here because it adds context to why this audio was released. So last night, I reached out to Tony Busby, who is the attorney for the alleged victim. And I said to him, hey, there is this statement now from Shannon Sharpe. In the statement, he directly names the woman. The woman, when she filed the lawsuit, was listed as a Jane Doe. We talked about that on yesterday's episode, right? So normally when you're listed as a Jane Doe, it's done for multiple reasons. It's, of course, to protect your identity. Normally in high-profile cases like this, it's because the woman is saying, hey, I don't want people to know who I am because I don't want retaliation. It'll get publicized. Like, I don't want to be a focal point of the media or of conversation. I just want to file my claim and go about my business. You do have people that feel like if a person is suing someone for something as serious as sexual assault, rape, whatever the case may be, a Jane Doe should not be allowed. A lot of times in these cases, like we've seen it in Puff's case and other cases, the person that the accusations are being thrown on will go to court and say, yo, judge, this person's identity need to be revealed. The judge will determine that, right? But a judge determines that. When Shannon Sharpe released his statement in response to all of the allegations, just the overall lawsuit being filed Monday, he revealed this woman's name in that statement. When I saw that, I said, oh, her attorneys, he kind of just like played into their hand a little bit. And I don't know why and what the thinking was behind that. But that is, in my opinion, if I was an attorney for a Shannon Sharpe, a high profile, ex-NFL Hall of Famer at the height of his career, I would not put a woman's name out there. I would allow a judge to make that decision. But it was done. So once that was done, I reached out and I said, hey, Attorney Busby, I have a couple questions. Number one, the timing of this is odd. You can't ignore that. People feel like the $100 million podcast deal conversation happened and then boom, here comes a sexual assault. What's up with that? He said to me, we have been we have been in conversation with Shannon Sharpe's legal team since February. There was a mini mediation conversation that had happened. Tony Busby says that Shannon Sharpe threw money their way, that the woman in question did not accept the offer, and she moved forward with filing the lawsuit. I also asked, now I will say Shannon Sharpe's attorney said that is not true, that it didn't go that way. I also asked him, what was their response to now her identity being out there, because they originally filed as Jane Doe. You could tell that Tony Busby was not happy with that whatsoever. There was also a video that Shannon Sharpe talked about in his statement where he said, hey, there's this video. The video may come out. The video is going to be edited according to what he's saying, he's alleging that the video is edited in a way to make whatever sexual act they were involved in look non-consensual when it was consensual. He admits that there are things that they would do while having sex with each other that were asked from this woman, but it was all consensual. But these are things I'm assuming is maybe like role play, stuff like that can be, if taken out of context, it'll look crazy. So he kind of was given like a forewarning. And he says that video was presented to him in this conversation, this meeting that his attorneys had. And it was used as blackmail. These are his words. It was used as blackmail. And he was like, we're not going to stand for this, right? Fast forward to today. This morning, I was able to speak to Shannon Sharpe's attorney. Shannon Sharpe's attorney then let me know a few things. He said that, number one, yes, Shannon Sharpe's prior attorneys did see this video, but they do not believe they saw the video in full. Shannon Sharpe did not see the video, but the attorneys, from what this new attorney is saying to me, but the attorneys or their other counsel saw a video. They took what they saw back to Shannon Sharpe. They described it. They talked about the content of the video, the length of the video, and Shannon Sharpe said that's not the full video. Ask him to see the full video. They say that they allege that they then went back to Tony Busby. They asked for the full video to be able to take it. They wanted to take it to an expert to make sure that it was full and in full context. And they were told, no, you cannot receive this full video. That is what they're alleging that Tony Busby said to them. They're also saying that whole mediation sit-down conversation, that happened because Tony Busby approached them to do so. And they asked for a certain amount of money. He told me that it was thousands, that it was millions of dollars. And that at the time, Shannon Sharpe said, no, like, we're not doing this. This is a shakedown. I'm not going to lean into this. We'll handle this in another way. But Shannon Sharpe's team, they're standing on, their statement that they released saying that he is innocent. They also said that they put out these text messages because they wanted to show there was a consensual sexual relationship between Shannon Sharpe and this girl. And that was it. And that everything that is being put out, they're alleging everything that Tony Busby is putting out is being misconstrued purposely and it's misleading purposely. Now, fast forward to today. There is this audio that is released, and in response to that audio, I reached out to Tony Busby on this audio, and my first thought was, because the audio is very, very short, you can obviously tell that it's not the full conversation. So I asked Tony Busby, like, hey, when y'all gonna release the full audio? And if you're not going to release it, at least tell us what the context of the conversation is. Like, yeah, I hear what I hear, and I can interpret what I hear. I asked him if he was going to provide any more context or additional audio that'll be added to what they had already released. They gave TMZ this audio, and even TMZ story says, look, this is not the full audio. Busby will not provide context, but here is the audio. Busby said to me in an email, I'm not trying this case in the press. We released this only because Sharpe's lawyer chose to attempt to discredit and dox Jane Doe by releasing multiple texts with no context. Did they release the entirety of the text surrounding the ones from yesterday? ? The audio is very clear of the situation and speaks for itself, period. And that is all he said to me. So obviously, and I could tell by Busby's tone when I reached out for a response to Shannon Sharpe's statement, which included those text messages, that they were pissed off. He had said to me that there was some sort of agreement where they all agreed that certain things would not be released. That's why they didn't even mention this particular video that Shannon Sharpe is now addressing in their filing. They do talk about this woman feeling like, or saying that she allegedly was recorded and it was against her like will, but that was it. They didn't mention anything else. Now, there is a video that Shannon Sharpe also just posted to his Instagram, and he is speaking not to the audio, although this was released after the audio. He's speaking to a video that he's saying will probably be released next. Let's take a listen.
Friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
He does not address the audio in that video. Now, I don't know if that's because this video was recorded before the audio dropped, but they dropped this video after the audio released. And I know, because I know how TMZ works, and they stated it in their story, that they had reached out to Shannon Sharpe's attorneys before they posted their story. I mean, let me not say 100% that I know they did it before. Typically, that's how they would do it. But in their story, they did say they at least reached out for a comment on this. I don't know when, if it was before, during, whatever. But typically, you would do it before. I also reached out to Shannon Sharpe's attorney, who I've been talking to all morning, trying to get a direct quote in response to that audio, and I did not get anything back. But then this video was posted. Shannon Sharpe mentions his career in this video. Question to the room: what do y'all think is about to happen, career-wise?
It's going to be a tough fight. It's going to be a tough fight because the way that audio sounds, I mean, although choking is something that takes place in certain settings, you know, some people like it, but the way it sounds, it doesn't sound good. It almost sounds like a punishment. It doesn't sound like it's part of what they do when they're, you know, pleasuring each other. It sounds more like a punishment. So I don't know how he's going to fight that. I don't know what the rest of the audio sounds like, but the way it's looking now doesn't sound good, especially considering the age difference. I think that's the biggest issue, is that he's so much older than her.
Right.
So it just makes it look like she's powerless.
Yeah.
And she sounds powerless. So
there's definitely a power dynamic.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it sounds bad as well, but I do feel that it's manipulative to only release that short of a clip. Clearly, they are driving the perception right now.
The narrative, yep.
The narrative, exactly. And so I think it's still up in the air. I mean, Tony Busby is, you know, a nefarious name right now at this point. It was filed in Nevada. And so I think there's a lot of context that we're kind of glossing over right now. So, but on a more personal level, I think that Shannon Sharpe has to smarten up. I think he has to use more discernment. If you're into that type of thing, there are certainly professionals that can help you get off, if you will, and handle your personal business in a way that's far more discreet. And I think that he has to move and shake in this world like someone that knows what they're doing. He's old enough. He's a big old age, 56 now?
Yeah, he's 56.
Yeah. I think that he has to move much different. And then what you mentioned, you know, the timing of it all. Obviously, sure, they've been talking and he's been paid, so that doesn't like somehow not line up now because this new deal came through. He's had money.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I'm just a little confused because I feel like whenever I see situations like this, it's just, why do you get that much trust to somebody?
Right.
Like
facts.
But granted, background info, and I think people you said there's a lot of stuff being glossed over. I think the age situation and how that power dynamic is going to play into how it's going to make him look, which I'll tell y'all, they opened this lawsuit saying, like, he is a powerful man. He is a wealthy man. He is 30 years older than this woman at minimum. They know exactly what they're playing into, right? But there was a 2-year relationship. It seems like it was very rocky, explosive, or whatever, according to the woman. According to Shannon Sharpe, it was consensual. But even in that time, I just think, even if I'm trusting you a bit, like the fact that he said, show the full video because I don't have it. Oh no, if that video is something that's consensual and it's whatever, we both got that. I need to be able to come out swinging just in case. Like, I think
ain't no video.
Airdrop me that. I need to airdrop me that before you fall asleep. Come on, send that on over. Like, it's just certain things that I think, and certain precautions I think he should have taken. I do know in this doc, Tony Busby, like when they filed, it said that he had asked this girl on 2 separate occasions to sign an NDA, but he kind of just like let it go. The first time was in the beginning, and then it was another time like during the course of their relationship, and he just like went with it. So what do you call her, Gabby from OnlyFans? She had a little hold on Uncle Shay Shay.
Right.
Look, to answer the question, I think his career is on the line, unfortunately. I feel like First Take, Disney's let people go for less.
Right.
Not even a conflate. I wouldn't bring up the other, the Jonathan Majors thing, but like Disney has let people go for less. So I think his $100 million deal, depending on how this shapes up, is definitely on the line.
The $100 million is a separate situation. That was a podcast situation he trying to do for Club Shay Shay. He ain't negotiating a dang thing at this point. Like, and won't be able to do that for a while until all of this clears. And even if he had, like, at this point right now, if he decides to settle and just, all right, let's just, you know what I mean? It's out there now. So now you still got to speak to it. You still got to explain it. And that's on the podcast side. That he gonna have to figure something out over there independently, something. Unless brands decide to stick by him. And I'm a little confused public opinion wise, because it's like, I think people are naturally swaying with it's Attorney Busby, who just went through all of this muddy water with Jay-Z and that Puffy case and, you know, things getting dismissed or whatever. But then you hear this audio. And the audio, it's not the full audio. So we all like, well, wait, we're the full. But what you hear, it's like, is this role play? But then she's talking about she being manipulated. It's like, what is happening right now? And that's just the podcast stuff, right? And the feelings there. But then you have the network stuff. I don't know. I would not be surprised if we see a statement in the next 24 hours from ESPN, Disney saying, hey, we're just going to suspend such and such until we figure out what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Until we figure it out, because now you have this audio. It's different when someone's filing docs and they're claiming things, and people do it for that. But the audio, it just, until they can fully hear it, and we will eventually have to hear it if this goes to court, because there's going to be subpoenaed.
Right.
There's no way it wouldn't be. It's muddy.
Like
it looks crazy.
Like Wanda said, that age difference and the fact that he threatened her with violence, it just changes. Like, it almost, not to say it props the evidence or what she's alleging, but it just doesn't make it look good for his character. And we talk about court, that's the first thing they go for.
Yeah.
What type of person are you when no one's watching?
Can we go back to the Stuart Scott days of commentators? Like, where I don't want to see a sex tape from Shannon Sharpe. I don't want to even know it exists.
Child,
My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, I just feel like ever since that Instagram live, and he just been talking so crazy. He talking about the young girls and the like. Less is more. Okay, you out here trying to. I don't know what you trying to prove, and who. That's not true. I know what people say he trying to prove, but we not going to one case at a time. Okay, right. One thing at a time. But I think it's just at the point that he's at in his career and at his age, it's just certain things I don't want to hear from him. I didn't want to hear him talking about what the young girls do when they see Uncle Shay Shay. I don't like none of that. I think that people he ha ha whatever, but. To me, I look at him as like, you've been doing this for so long and you have so much bank and so much bread. It's like you're coveted. You know what I mean? Like, you're coveted in sports. You're supposed to be a coveted voice. Even the interviews he had started to do, I think that's why they were getting such the pushback that they were, because it's like, yo, what are you doing? You're not 34. Right. You're 50-something years old talking to these young artists. The conversation should have more substance and more depth to it.
No, I totally agree. And I've studied Shannon for a long time. I know his one-time producer. I don't know if it's still his producer, a younger guy too. And I appreciated how they were moving because they were shaking things up. They were disrupting. But in this day and age, I think that you have to take both sides of that coin, how that looks on both sides.
Right.
Some of these things, they all flow into the same bucket. You don't get $100 million deal because you just reported the facts. A lot of it comes with the controversy. A lot of it comes with the extras, you know, and ultimately those people are oftentimes rewarded for bringing the drama and the attention in this cluster we call media now.
Yeah. Right. But I look at like a Stephen A, and I feel like Stephen A brings the controversy, the drama. He talk crazy. He get back at people. But it's still, even with him, it's certain things that I just wouldn't want to see him in conversation about. Not even that he can't do it. It's just like the way that I view him. Y'all know what I mean?
Right.
Well, it's funny, you know, Jay Prince one time said, "You don't get in the mud with the pigs." But it seems like these guys that we hold in this high regard are willing to get in the mud and mix it up and dirty their own legacies in ways that I personally won't do, right? Like these are nightmares. All of these scenarios are nightmares. Like beefing with LeBron to me would be a nightmarish scenario.
That was a great nightmare to have to.
That's a good
though.
nightmare.
I'm a I'm top sports commentator in the game, and LeBron James goes and sit down and have to have a conversation with me, Pat McAfee, and how you say his last name? McAfee.
Yeah. McAfee.
Pat McAfee. You got to go sit down with him to talk about me, and you're LeBron James. I don't know. I'm taking that nightmare. I'm waking up screaming out of that one.
That's cool. It just depends how you look at it. It's okay because obviously in this day and age, that's a career step up for some people. You get all the attention, you get all the controversy, and then you can move and shake as a professional, which he is. However, when you start talking about you going on Instagram Live or your 10-minute sex tape, leak the whole tape. I can't imagine saying those words.
Yeah. Well, the words have been said, and obviously he's said a little bit more because it's some things you're about to find out, I guess, about if this tape does leak. The only thing with that, though, is I don't see them leaking the tape or giving the tape because their client is in it. Like this young woman is in the tape engaging in these activities as well.
An alleged rape.
Well, it's that I was going to say. So it's twofold. So it's if the tape is what Shannon Sharpe originally is saying that it is, which is a consensual sexual act where they, do different things, but at the request of this young lady, and everything is saying young lady is crazy. I'm not trying to be funny, but she is a young lady. But at the request of this woman, she's in the video, and no woman wants to have to put what she's doing in her bedroom on a TMZ.com or a Breakfast Club or wherever, right? But if it's not consensual and what they have does show physical violence or alleged rape or whatever, I don't think that you want the world it's like if and these are two separate situations, but when Rihanna's the photo with the Chris Brown stuff came out, those photos were obtained through different things. She didn't give that to the media. Right. I don't think that a victim of something wants it to be plastered around is the point that I'm trying to make. Completely two different situations, completely two different people, whatever. But I don't think, you know what I'm saying?
But I have a question for you. What about the police? What about filing a police report? The statute of limitations hasn't expired on this case, right?
Very true.
So why wouldn't they file charges before filing a civil suit?
I can't answer that. I have no answer to that.
Right.
None. I might can go ask that question though. Right. I will ask that question.
Why is it so money driven?
Because it's Shannon Sharpe.
Busby. That's
Shannon
the
Sharpe
thing
and
that
Tony
just
Busby.
kind of makes it like, no. You know what I mean? But the way the audio sounds, but it's 2025. We have all types of ways to alter audio and the way people snip clips and, everything can be out of context. It could have been a completely different conversation from what we're hearing.
Exactly.
From what is being presented.
Yeah.
And it's just too much things honestly, just don't line
too many
up.
variables that are moving. Too many variables that are moving to be able to. And that's why, the first thing is when you receive this, the first thing you ask is, well, where is the full? Right. How do we get to the full? Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to digest here. There's a lot to just think about here. I don't know. I don't know. It's an unfortunate situation to see anybody in, but you were saying this earlier. It just happened so fast. It's one day, $100 million podcast negotiation conversation and reports. The next day, we're talking about, is this, man an alleged rapist or not? Which is a heavy allegation to have on your name. Insanely heavy allegation.
And it trumps everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime they look up his name, that's going to be you got to go through 6 pages before you can get to something that's not about that. Mm-hmm. So
that's a stain you can't get out of your linen suit.
I was going to ask you guys, so if all of this, if all of this ends with Busby, how Jay-Z that situation ended where Jay-Z was accused of rape and then it was dismissed and we heard more from the victim and you heard that like her testimony wasn't solid and it fell apart. It wasn't true and it fell apart, right? If that were to happen in this case, hypothetically speaking, the Shannon Sharpe, is he back clean? He's Uncle Shay Shay, everything just moves on and he's good? Or does this stain him in a bit where it's like just having the brush with this makes you look at things a little bit differently? Because there are factors like I am hearing people having conversation about the fact that, you know, at his age, he's talking to this 19-year-old, 20-year-old girl, which is wasn't illegal, but it's still crazy.
But it can be judged.
Yes.
It can definitely be judged.
So is the saying, if all this goes away, because it's, you know what I mean, whatever proves it not to be true, is he clean free? Is he good?
Well, I think that he'll be okay if it goes away like Jay-Z, because we'll just go back to the way we were, honestly, because the way the news cycle works, one day it's here, the next day it's gone. That's why they haven't released the full audio, because it's going to be it'll disappear in a week. If you release it in pieces and bits and tiers and levels, I should say, then they can continue to stay in the news cycle. If it goes away like Jay-Z's case, I think it'll be okay, because I don't think that people care that much. And I know that sounds horrific, but in all that's going on in the world right now, everything from Trump to the Pope dying to Kanye West and real news, quote unquote, everything else, he'll be fine.
I think it's definitely inflated to those of us that like care about entertainment and things of that nature. But Gabrielle Zuniga, who is the woman that is accusing Shannon Sharpe, is trending number 2 with 100,000 impressions, and it's going up. It's been trending for 23 hours. Go down some. Is Shannon on there? Keep going. We see Kanye on there. Lil Uzi Vert, he went to the hospital today. We'll talk about that another day. But I did that to show you that, I mean, across the world, people do care. Shannon Sharpe is a huge name.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't mean to suggest they don't care. I mean to say that in a couple of days, a day or two, it's going to die down. That's
as long as nothing else. I think what made this go back up again, click her name. Click Gabriella Zuniga. I don't know how you say her name. Yeah, so go down. Let's see the articles that come up. Okay, so these are just like brief articles, but what probably happened is it's been trending all day long, but I'm pretty sure that audio and then Shannon responded to it again definitely got it back going again. So as long as if things just chill out, it's cool, but if not, it's going to keep going.
I'm kind of curious as to how he'll be judged, because his sex life keeps becoming public more and more.
Lord have mercy. And I don't know why.
And,
honestly, we don't really care.
Nobody
no.
Right.
I don't want to see that little hip moving. I don't.
I don't want to see anything. That's my nightmare. I don't want to see no Shannon Sharpe sex tape.
No. Look, if we learned anything, this usually opens the floodgates for someone as big as him with what's going on. Pause. Like, he usually opens the floodgates. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But we see how that trends whenever one allegation it's okay, let's, you know what I mean?
100%. And Patrick, you took us to a good point. Because this is typically the part where, as we're closing the show, we always we have a really big community here on the latest with Loren LoRosa, the podcast. And our community is called the Low Riders, because they be riding hard for me. They be going in, riding hard for me. But we take it outside to the streets. I love to take y'all outside to the streets in the tweets, which is where we just get online and see what are people talking about and how are they talking about this.
You for the tweets.
We outside, we outside, we outside. Outside in the tweets.
Every other page I go.
So I tweeted a bunch of different exclusive conversations that I've had with, both attorneys. Tony Busby, the attorney for the accuser, and Shannon Sharpe's legal counsel as well. And here are just a few tweets that happened in response to the information I tweeted out. So John Thomas 24 said, there's nothing illegal about him being a freaky nigga. That's how he spelled it. But that's besides the point. Busby is a known liar and seems to always be behind these cases after an athlete or entertainer gets a big payday. So he is alleging that Busby is setting this all up. Though those are thoughts of these people on Twitter and not of mine or this podcast. No defamation. Thanks. So Tree Threat is saying that, okay, so you're supposed to believe all women, but at this point, because all of this is being publicized, she's saying that it feels like kind of like an attack between the media company that Shannon Sharpe was at, trying to keep him and scare away other media companies because he was supposed to be doing this other deal. Then she says, on the other hand, why would anyone field offers if they know he's been in a mediation regarding an assault since February? Somebody's lying. I doubt that he shared that he had been in this mediation or this conversation since February. Now, the last tweet, K.N. McCorkle says, I agree. Timing of this is horrible for Shannon. Whether he's guilty or not, he should have tried to settle this one. I get why he didn't want to do it, though, but based on the recording, things can get bad quick in terms of public opinion. It's a sad situation for sure. I kind of said this earlier. I feel like maybe he should have just settled out. And just let it all go away and had these NDAs and things that people agreed to and just went on about his business. I know they say if you pay a person once, they're going to come again. But like, I don't know, because it seems like even if what he's alleging is true, the way that he getting down with old girl, and if that's just how they get down sexually, right? And if what he's saying is true, it still's like, why do you want that conversation around you? It's like, why? Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, so.
Just pay it up and chalk it up to the game. And keep moving.
If you listen, yeah.
That's not a bad way to think of it. He'll get it back.
He'll get it back, but I think it's the thing of, it's like if you pay Busby once, now here comes, he knows you a payday now, right? Or she knows you a payday now, or whatever the case may be. But I just hope that this doesn't turn out like a Puff situation, like how it was with Cassie, where he didn't pay her out. He kind of threw his ego around and his power around, and then boom, that video dropped. Like everything started dropping around the Cassie situation to show a lot of what she was alleging actually was happening. You know what I mean? I want to hold it out for Shannon Sharpe that, you know, we got to wait until this goes further. He is innocent until proven guilty, but there are all these claims out there, so we got to consider both sides of it.
Okay, Loren, what are we taking away from this episode?
From this episode, I'm taking away that, you know, in all my consensual relationships, airdrop me that video. I need to have my own proof. Airdrop me that video right now, and I ain't deleting no threads. Don't play with me. What y'all taking away from this episode?
Don't record at all.
Because you don't know how to airdrop?
I know how to airdrop. Stop. Don't play with me. So you basically saying you be recording. That's what you saying.
What I'm saying is that when you're intimate with somebody, you years in with somebody, if you choose to do that, cool. But I just need to know that I always got my own back. I honestly, though, feel like for me as a woman, I'm not doing all that with somebody that I even have to think would even do things like this. But it's a scary time. You just never know.
Yeah, I think that you have to move differently when you're signing and making $100 million deals. Period.
Yeah.
You have to move different. So even airdropping, nah, I got that. You don't got that. I got that. And that's what it is. And you're moving into another stratosphere, and you have to just consider different things. The NDA has to be signed. It has to be airtight.
You think people care about NDA still? I don't think they do.
I don't think they do, but you have to cross every dot every T. Dot every T. No, cross every T, dot every I.
I feel you.
Yeah.
What about you, Wanda?
I mean, I was going to say the NDAs. I mean, I know they don't really hold as much weight, but it shows some type of consent. You know what I'm saying? Whereas something like this is just, he has nothing to defend himself to say that, well, this is something that we both been doing and we know that this is what we're going to do and this is our relationship.
Right.
You know, so, and I mean, you can't beat the age difference, you know. That is what kind of makes it really look bad. If she was in her 30s or something, maybe even in her 20s, but teens.
Well, she was like 19 and he was dealing with her early 20s, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying, you talking about 20. She was. Right, she eventually turned 20.
Right, but to be 19.
To take her out for her 19, first legal drink is crazy.
Right, and then it's just like, you know, you kind of, it's like, what do you expect almost? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining me today. I've enjoyed the conversation. Y'all are first like guests outside of my mom.
I'm so proud to be on your show.
Yeah, like y'all are like our real guests because it's been like my mom. Patrick is here with me every day, my manager. So like, thank y'all and I just told them like, I walked in and said, oh, y'all here, great. Y'all gonna be on the podcast today. So I appreciate you guys so much. Let the people know where they can find all of y'all stuff.
You can reach me at allhiphopcom, allhiphopcom, or at Chuck Creekmur, CREEKMUR, everywhere.
And I'm DJ Boy Wonda, DJ BOYWONDA on all platforms. And you could also follow One World Studio so you can kind of get an idea of what goes on in here. One World, WON, One World Studios at everything.
Well, y'all, this has been another episode of The Latest with Loren LoRosa. And at the end of the day, I tell y'all this every single day. Y'all could be anywhere with anybody talking about this stuff, but y'all are right here with me, and I appreciate you guys always. I'm Loren LoRosa, the homegirl that knows a bit about everything and everybody. I'm signing out. I'll see you in my next episode.